When I was a lad, I ate 4 dozen eggs every morning to help me get large. Now that I'm grown, I eat 5 dozen eggs, so I'm roughly the size of a barge.
Alright, so it might not be 4 dozen cards, but there sure are a lot of them, and one of them's a song! 4 dozen Eggs is a Sapphire action song for 4 that gives your characters resist +2 until your next turn. That's pretty sweet, essentially protecting your board from grab your sword for a turn, but also helping out the usual crew who benefit from challenging. It does seem like resist seems to be a keyword focused in Sapphire and Steel now. We also had quite a few vanilla cards thrown at us. Minnie Mouse zipping along, a 3/2/1 lore for 2, Donald Duck Deep Sea Diver, a 6/5/1 lore for 5, and Goofy Night for a Day, who is the biggest card we have ever seen, being a 10/10/4 lore for 9. He honestly actually might see play in Sapphire Steel ramp decks. We also had a few cards revealed through French sources, giving us for vanillas Chip Innocent Soul, an Archimedes clone, and a Lumiere Real Hothead, a 7/7/2 lore for 7. Chip might see play in the same decks that use Archimedes already, but Lumiere will probably only see play as a late game threat in Limited, just like Sven or Triton. Moving to more interesting cards, in Amber we've got Rapunzel Gifted Artist, a 0/6/2 lore Floodborn for 5, with Shift 3, and when you heal a character, draw a card. Very solid, and will make low air impact healers like Timon and Dinglehopper see more play, I imagine. Also, presumably we'll be seeing a cheap Amber Rapunzel as a shift target for this one. Notably, this is the first Floodborn of less than rare rarity that we've seen, being only an uncommon. In Amethyst, we got Pinocchio Talkative Puppet, our first reveal from that franchise. The Little Wooden Boy is a 1/1/1 lore for 2, uninkable, with when you play him, you may exert an opposing character. I guess his nose grows and knocks someone over. Kind of strictly better than Freeze. I could see this being played in a deck that wants to challenge, such as Amethyst paired with Steel or Ruby. In Emerald, we get our first Daisy Duck, Secret Agent, a 2/3/2 lore for 4, with when she quests, each opponent discards a card. That is ridiculous. If you can keep her alive for multiple quests, your opponents are just not going to have a hand, ever. Just throw Prince John her way and you've got yourself a card draw engine. Then we've got Queen of Hearts, Quick Tempered, a 1/2/2 lore for 2, uninkable, with when you play her, deal 1 damage to a damaged opposing character. A ping on a body is very nice, even if it is conditional and she's uninkable. You could use your 1-drop to challenge your opponent's 1-drop, then play Queen of Hearts to finish it off. Finally, there's Lucifer, Sly Cat, a 2/2/2 lore for 5, uninkable, with when you play him, each opponent discards either 2 cards or 1 action. Now this sounds very strong for an effect, but remember that by the time you reach 5 ink, your opponents are only going to have 1 or 2 cards left on their hands anyway. This is going to be most harmful against Amethyst decks, and I can absolutely see Lucifer being essentially the top end of a discard-focused Emerald deck. Moving to Ruby, we got Tigger, One of a Kind, a 3/3/1 lore for 3, with when you play an action, he gets +2 strength for the turn. So playing 1 action makes him a 5/3 for the turn. So you can play an action on turn 4, then have him swing out and likely kill whatever is exerted on your opponent's board. Not too bad. Then there's the Sword and the Stone, a 1-cost uninkable item with exert this and pay 2, chosen character gets +1 strength this turn per damage token it has. This doesn't sound the best. I still think Dinner Bell will be a bit too clunky to actually play as well, because you're not very often going to get more than 1 or maybe 2 strength off of this, making this just a worse Stolen Scimitar. You could possibly make it work in an Amber Ruby deck with high willpower princesses like the Rapunzels or Moana, but even then this seems a bit underwhelming. In Sapphire, we got a new Cruella DeVille, Cruise Control, a 3/2/1 lore for 2 who gets evasive during your turn. So she can take out Pascal and survive, or trade with Tinkerbell Most Helpful, or Pongo, which is delightful flavor-wise. Oh, and she's strictly better than the new Minnie. Gotta love seeing Ruby just continue to get shafted stats-wise. The final new card is Grand Pabby, the oldest and wisest, a 3/6/3 lore for 7, uninkable, reveal with when you heal a character, gain 2 lore. That's pretty wild. Just run him as the top end of a deck with Queen of Agrabah, Coconut Basket, and all the usual Amber healing stuff. It's good to see the set leaning more into payoffs for healing, because in the first chapter it was usually just better to play a new character rather than bother with healing. That's it for now, though I wouldn't be surprised if another card or 2 got revealed in the time it takes me to record, edit, and upload this video. And lo, my prophecy came true. Just as I was about to finish and export this video, 2 more cards dropped. They're in French, so we're going to translate on the fly here. We got Cobra Bubbles and Amber 5/9 2 lore for 7. He's a vanilla. He's a Triton clone, and he's an Amber, so there's that. Then there is the Enchantress, Unexpected Judge, a 1/1 2 lore for 2 with when she's challenged she gets +2 strength. Okay, so this is a character from a prologue to a movie. She's like the backstory rather than like an actual character, and she has a card, which is interesting, I guess. The actual card itself is also seems pretty strong. She gets a good amount of lore, and when she's challenged, she's probably going to take down whoever tries to take her down. So, probably we'll see play. All right, now for real, we're done.